Do you believe in myths? Are you ready to find out the true story and origin behind the beast and creatures on your favorite Funko Pops? Get ready for a brand new series that will chill you to your bone. Welcome to Funko Myths Explained. Hey everybody, welcome back to Funko Pop Myths Explained. We're here for episode 2. Hope you guys are all doing well. I'm joined again by the infamous Cammy. Cammy, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you, Cody? Thanks for having us back.
I'm great. I'm excited to have you. And our Greek god of knowledge, Bryant, over here.
I'm as bald as a marble slab. So
all that knowledge, though, that's all that matters. So we're back here today to do episode 2. We're going to talk about Loch Ness today. Excited to do this episode. We got some story, the history and origin behind it, and then we're going to tie Loch Ness into pop culture over the years, and we're going to show off the pop. So you know we're a pop channel. We're going to show that off too. So a lot to get into, and so we're going to let Cammy lead it off. Cammy, you got a story for us you want to share, right?
I do, yes.
Okay, awesome. Excited.
So I use the dailyrecord.co.uk. Reminds me a bit probably of the Daily Mail. So we'll see. I don't know how true it is, but well, Loch Ness sightings have been recorded since the 500s, and the monster has even been depicted in pic art. The encounters today are equally intriguing. In 2020, some 13 sightings of the beast were recorded in the official register. An American woman using the official Nessie Cam spotted the animal and was able to capture 10 minutes of video. The video shows what appears to be the head of a large creature emerging from the middle of the lake. It moves quite quickly and effortlessly through the water and remains above the surface. You can also see waves forming behind it as it speeds across the loch. Because of its certain appearance, we know that it's not a boat and must come from the depths, but the video is not clear enough to make out defined features of the culprit. But the official Loch Ness Monster Register has deemed it a confirmed sighting. The beast disappears after a time back to her murky abode, and we are left to wonder still what lurks in this infamous loch.
Beautiful.
Awesome. That's a great story. And I'm hoping, I got a chance to play some of that video for you guys during that so you could actually see the footage. If not, I'll have some images up you guys could see, because that footage was really interesting to see, of that security cam. And I like that she named it the Nessie Cam.
That's like an official thing. Like the people that believe in the Loch Ness Monster or are just using it for monetary gain, we don't know, have a cam that you can go on and watch the Loch Ness Monster or watch the loch to find it. And that's why we have so many sightings every year. Like I think beginning in 2017, there were like 14 sightings that year. And then 2018, 2019 were quite a few as well. And then 2020 with 13. So that's why we get so many sightings now.
Yeah, it's really cool because of how culturally ingrained this is. Because the Loch Ness Monster is like classified as a cryptid, which is basically a cryptid is a thing that has a disputed existence. Many of these myths that we've covered are cryptids, like Bigfoot and stuff like that. And there's some crazy local ones like the Jersey Devil that have like cult followings of people trying to prove its existence. And the Nessie's really cool because it hits this medium of like crazy fans, but also it's really culturally enriching and stuff like that. And it's kind of everywhere now. Everyone's familiar with it, but it originates in Scotland, and that really helps. Like it's kind of culture boost. This is a beautiful area. The Lake Ness, that's what loch means. The Lake Ness and the River Ness are beautiful places. And what's really cool about like the boosting of its of the sightings is they really started kicking off in the 19th century when they actually finished a road that was by the lake. People are finally moving, they're traveling more, they're seeing this thing. I mean, it's really fun. But Cammy mentioned, so it's kind of weird. So the origin of this monster is pretty deep. People attribute it to as late as 1500 years ago, during like Roman kind of Christianization, just after. So, the Romans came to the British Islands and they started making everybody Christians as they started settling and stuff like that. And there was this dude, Saint Columba. He was this Irish priest who had a huge life. And there's this story from his biography that was written in the 565 AD, where he basically was walking with these, he was walking around near the river, and these Picts, which is the name of these basically barbarians, is what you'd kind of call them. Think of like Vikings in a way almost. And they were being harassed by the monster. And he literally just goes up and he does the sign of the cross and he says, like, get out of here. And then the thing runs away. And so they don't really describe it necessarily. They say it's a monster of the sea, but people sort of think that incident, would have spread by word of mouth. And that's really what would have like focused on it. So fast forward 1,300 years later, there's a road that's made. Go a little bit into the 1930s, and you finally have people providing photographs, camera footage, and then that prompted people from the late 1800s to go, "Oh yeah, I did see it." They were writing in, but it kind of the 1930s is when this mania started of people like seeing it. There's the famous photos. There's the really famous one of like Nessie. It's like black and white, and it's the curved head. Yeah. And that's where people get the plesiosaur idea, the dinosaur thing. But really, a lot of these photos have been debunked. Some of them were like the people who made them actually came out and said, no, it was just a toy. And I had that. People tried to make footprints using like hippos' feet and stuff like that. It was really weird.
Yeah, it was like an umbrella stand or something.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So unfortunately, there hasn't really been anything like concrete that really goes it on, but it does. I mean, it doesn't matter because it's survived for 1,500 years, and now we have pops of this damn thing. So it's just so cool.
That's right. That's how it's blowing up. And can you talk about a little bit? Is it we're getting these sightings, and it originates in like Scotland and stuff, right? Are there other areas that are coming up that people are saying they're seeing Loch Ness, or does it resonate in just one area?
So no, the Christianization of the British Islands, so of the people that were in England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, that whole area, the United Kingdom is kind of what we call it today mostly. When they were Christianized, so a lot of those people were like barbarians to the Latin Christians that were coming over there, the Roman Christians. And so they had all their beliefs from like a millennia. These people have been like praise and stuff. So they had these local monsters and myths and legends, and that's where you get like Irish folklore today, but it mixes with Christianity. So nothing specifically went with Loch Ness though. And it didn't really become the Loch Ness monster, again, Lake Ness monster. It's a very ambiguous term. We're just calling it the monster of the Lake Ness because that's what the lake or the river's called. But no, there's no other like corroborating kind of things that go around. But there is tons of folklore that is included around that area. So there is, this wasn't just an isolated monster. There's tons of different kinds of monsters from the cultures of these people that lived in this area, but nothing that kind of goes to Lake Ness though. That's
what I say. That's awesome. Because I kind of like to see like where are people seeing it, right? Is it one location, multiple locations? And just looking at some of the research, we see where it originates from. Yeah. And then that story, like that Cammy's got, that was a great story because all this footage is still popping up. Yeah, of Loch Ness. And is this Cammy? Were you looking some stuff up? Is it kind of staying the same from like how many sightings we're seeing like every year? Is it really fluctuating over the past few years?
Yeah, it does fluctuate. There was a time period where they hadn't seen it for a while, and they were like, "Oh no, is it dead? Is it gone? Like, did it go back to space? I don't know, like whatever." Yeah. What I really found interesting is that in all of the research that I was doing to try to find like a story, and they're basically all the same. There's this monster that appears in the middle of the lake and it's going around and then it disappears. But I did find that they actually found fossilized remains of a plesiosaur. Is that how you say it? Plesiosaur. It was like a little baby one that they found intact. Cool. It was a fossil imprint. I don't think it was in Loch Ness. It was like in the river Ness. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit further away, but they, those things may have lived there or may have had access to it at some point. So it was just kind of neat. But I mean, obviously, like that's probably not what's going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, but I say the amount of sightings they're seeing is just really interesting. And I've had some stuff, in pop culture I want to get to. But Brian, was there any other history or origin of it you wanted to mention before we jump into that?
The cool thing, we've talked about it a lot on our show, when Christianity spread all across Europe and Scandinavia and stuff like that, there was this cool evolution or this merging of, because sometimes you could snuff out old beliefs and stuff like that, but sometimes you just couldn't. And I really like the Saint Columba story, because it like having a monster in the lake and believing in it doesn't really seem really like Christianly, like to believe in that kind of thing today. But it's cool because like these priests in Ireland and Scotland and England, they were like, we gotta convince these people that it's okay. We got to do that, and that happens so much throughout history of these peoples. And just the Loch Ness Monster is one of the coolest versions of that. And it's wild to have an account from 500 AD, the 6th century, and then it pops. It just starts sporadically popping up in the 18th century or the 19th century. That was really cool.
And then we're still, like I said, we're still seeing them on Nessie Cams today. So
right, yeah, it's persistent. Yeah.
Well, again, so that's a great. I love the history and origin of them, right? And I think people are interested in that. So if you didn't know, we got Loch Ness. He's popping up all over pop culture too. So I printed some stuff out. This was I actually got this list from the travelchannel.com. Surprisingly, just some pop culture areas that Loch Ness is popping up. I just want to run through some of them. I'll put some pictures up so people can see. Because if you got any Doctor Who fans, in a series of the 1975 broadcast, the BBC had an episode like there was the time traveling alien summoned to Scotland. They were fighting extraterrestrials that were lurking at the bottom of Loch Ness. But that episode was called Terror of the Zygons. I don't know if you guys have seen that episode of Doctor Who, but 1975, right? He's showing up in TV.
That's funny.
And this was cool, like Busch Gardens. I'm gonna tell you exactly where this one is. There's a double looping roller coaster in Williamsburg, Virginia, in 1978. It's a marvel of engineering. They called it the Loch Ness Monster. It served over 58 million riders. It's become a landmark. So in Busch Gardens, there was a Loch Ness Monster roller coaster. So I don't think I want to ride that.
Yeah.
And then again, in the movie Ghostbusters, right? Ernie Hudson, he takes a job. The receptionist is telling him things you might see on the job, UFOs, ESP, spirits. And she also mentions the Loch Ness Monster in the Ghostbusters movie. And that's what Eddie famously said, hey, I'm here to do anything you say as long as it's got a steady paycheck. So, and then we've got Loch Ness. There's a famous episode in The Simpsons, in season 10 of The Simpsons. Simpsons has been around forever, where Montgomery Burns goes to find the monster, has the Loch Ness drained of water. But the funny thing is, like, they find the beast. It takes a job at a casino. And that was in 1999, an episode of Simpsons. Yeah. And that's also the same year you've seen all the memes and stuff pop up. Their Loch Ness showed up in South Park.
Yes, 350.
Yeah.
So that's another good one.
Yeah.
Again, there's the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. J.K. Rowling that wrote Harry Potter. She actually reveals in the 2001 Bestiarity, reveals Loch Ness Monster was the world's largest Kelpie, a shape-shifting water demon.
Oh, so yeah.
She actually mentions that in her book.
That's cool.
And then there's actually, this is a funny one if you hadn't seen this, there's a Baxter's Loch Ness Marathon. And Cami and Brian, if you guys want to go running, there is a Loch Ness Marathon on October 6th. Mark your calendars for this one, October 6th. You guys can run through the stunning highland scenery. You guys to the southeastern shore of Loch Ness across the river finish. There's actually a huge, like a blow up Loch Ness on the course that you can see some images of. That I thought was really cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know you go to a marathon to find Loch Ness.
Hey, that would be a crazy run because it would be beautiful, and two, every other second you'd have a crazy hill you're going up and a crazy hill you're going down, so that it'd be a whirlwind.
Yeah, and not to mention how muggy it is just in that area in general, and then at a Lake, no thank you.
Yeah.
There's no way you could breathe.
I just love, if you see the image, I love the little blow up Loch Ness they've got.
That's cool.
There's another collectibles company out here. I don't know if I'm pronouncing them right. It's spelled Ototo. I don't know if it's Ototo. But they have a Nessie's collection, and you guys will probably need this when you're cooking in the kitchen. I have some images up. They actually have these spoons and ladles in the shape of Loch Ness, and it's got the long neck, and it's kind of got this like little over.
I think I've seen those.
Yeah, I was going to show you on here. It might not be as good to show you on here, but you'll see the images when we fit them in. But they have these whole Loch Ness cookingware that you can get, which I thought was really cool. So, guys, if you need cooking utensils, look those guys. Toto is what I'm calling them. I hope that's right.
That's funny.
So that's kind of some stuff we learned about. Them showing the Loch Ness in pop culture TV shows. He's everywhere. She's everywhere. Who knows? But we do want to show the pop off and maybe like wrap some stuff up with some final details. I do have the pop. I'm going to blow this up real quick. A little bit of info about the pop. Here we go. Here is Loch Ness Monster.
So cute.
Him, super cute. Super cute. I do like he's got some little algae coming out of his mouth. Like he just got through eating something. Again, it is a Funko Shop exclusive. I do like on the back, they've got like is that the Scotland Shield colors, I'm going to guess?
Yeah,
They replaced the Loch Ness Monster, or the dragon with the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, that's cool. I like how they got the shit. I like how they got like the little castle, the nice scenery on the back of this one.
Yeah,
nice detail to it. This came out in 2019, so a little bit older. Right now, it's got a current value of $80 for Loch Ness.
Wow.
So, until you can find the real one, you might want to grab that one for now.
Yeah, this is legendary. Yeah.
Yeah. So great info. Is there anything else we want to bring up about Loch Ness before we wrap things up?
Now, I was going to say, when you showed me the pop, I hadn't seen it before. The way it's got the fins on its ears and its head and stuff, and mentioning the Kelpie is like a fin mermaidy, more fish-like than mermaid, Gaelic Scottish creature that is like mean. So that's really cool that Rowling tied in that. I liked, and then the pop kind of brought that theme there too. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff, and reading this stuff in pop culture, I didn't know about the roller coaster, didn't know about the marathon. That was really interesting. I'd actually would like to check that out. Need to take a field trip, and so Netflix signs us, we're going to go on field trips. So, Amy, anything else you want to bring up before we wrap it up?
Well, I don't know if you're going to ask us if we believe in it or not.
Oh, that is a great question. Yeah, where are we on believability? Do we believe like a large sea-type creature, maybe that people are just confused with Loch Ness? Where are we on believability of the Loch Ness?
What do you think, Cammy?
I think sea creatures are more believable than land creatures because there's so much we haven't discovered. But the loch is it's a large loch. It's the largest one in Scotland, but it's still a small place with a small ecosystem that there's no way it could feed something that big. Supposedly there are tunnels out to the ocean. So maybe an ocean, something's getting in there, but I'm not sold. I think it's probably people seeing, I don't know, like just some large fish or the eels that are in there or the freshwater eels that are in the loch or something. Yeah. And just imagining is that. What about you, Bryant?
One explanation that like people think or used to explain a lot of the sightings is actually otters. Funny enough, because
they're weird looking in the water.
Yeah, and like a lot of the habits that people describe are like otter related. So I think in 565 the pics were just getting beat up by some giant ass otter that was just messing them up. And Columbo was like,
he was close to the camera that we couldn't.
He just came up and he was just like, "Get out of here, otters!" And they were like, "Oh my god!" So that's it. That's all it's got to be. Yeah, Cammy's right. Yeah, too small. Couldn't support it.
Okay. Well, it's good to discuss them, right? It's good to bring them up and see. I hope you guys enjoyed the Loch Ness episode. That was episode 2. If you guys haven't checked out MythStorie, please check them out. Here they are right here. They talk about myths constantly, not just Funko Pop myths, but they talk about other myths too. That's how you spell it, MYTH, story, STORIE. So check them out if you hadn't. Links in the description. If If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know. Did you enjoy the Loch Ness episode? Do you have the pop? Have you had a sighting with Loch Ness? Do you have any cool footage you want to share? Please drop it in the comments. Cammie Bryant, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on, talking about Loch Ness with us. We'll be filming a lot more episodes, so make sure you're subscribed and you know when we drop these new ones. This is a fun series. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.